It's cubish. It's cubist. You ever see a lion limber up before a kill? How about now? But then the phones are talking to each other, and we don't want that. Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center. You know what time it is? It's the coolest time of the week because we've got a lot of the coolest new knives that have just hit our shelves right here in front of me. The first is actually, you may have seen it before, but it is a restock. It has been long out of stock, and we finally have them back. This wee little guy right here. This is the Mikov Kostka. Kostka. It is the word for cube. And it's coming in at about $36. And it's called cube because when you fold it, if you can figure out how to fold it, it's not exactly a cube because it's not, you know, same equal on all sides, but cubular. It's cubish. It's cubist. There it is. This would have been a great thing to have a couple weeks ago on the FAQ we did on having a knife that's lying around that doesn't look anything like a knife. I mean, look at that. You would be hard-pressed to tell what that looked like if you happened upon it and didn't know what it was.
The aliens left it.
Oh, must be. So you fold it out like so, and then you fold it out like so. As such, it's a pretty safe knife to use in a standard grip, provided your hand doesn't slip forward. We are not lawyers. This is not legal or safety advice, of course. But there's no lock to essentially break. And there's no, and the direction of pivoting that goes on with these handles isn't even straight edge forward, so to speak. So there's some kind of inherent safety built into that. It's all 440A, so it's not a steel that's going to, make anyone write sonnets about its performance. But it is such a cool little thing. Slightly novelty, yes, but it's not expensive either. It's only about, like I said, $36 for what you're getting. Great desk knife, great gentlemanly or formal knife, great fun knife. And something, like I said, very, very unobtrusive, very invisible in polite company. Like it looks nothing like a knife when it is in that closed position. I'll leave it just sitting right there the whole time. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. The Mikov Kostka, back after a long, long absence on the shelves. So I figured you folks would want to know about it, even though it's not strictly, so to speak, new. How about this? The Dyad Junior Sprint Run in stock from Spyderco. Two-bladed modern folder, which is not something you see much outside of, the old classic slip joints. Sprint run, so once these are all gone, they are all gone. There's sometimes a chance we can find a few more if these sell out from various suppliers and such, but once the production batch is gone, it's all gone. $108 and some change, which is not bad when you consider a single blade version of this would be probably like $70, $80, maybe even more. But you're getting double the knife essentially at that price. And you're getting Spy 27 steel as well, Spyderco's proprietary powder metal. Put it somewhere in the S30 to S45 VN range of performance. It's also been, anecdotally at least, known to strop really, really easily. So the maintenance is quite nice. You've got the cobalt blue FRN handles for extra grip, and two lockbacks there on the back to, actuate the blades. Figure out which one I'm actuating. There we go. One of the blades is this sheep's foot style with the full serrations. Great for fibrous materials, great for rope. Could even be halfway decent rescue style blade if you need to cut the clothing off of someone because you've got no tip right there. Know what you're doing if you're a rescue personnel. And on the other side, the main blade. Sort of a, we're kind of going to call that a clip point in this case. That's what I'm going to go with. Full flat grind on it. Very, very slicey. Very, very pokey as well. And both of these blades are, just got to actuate the right one hand opening and closing and locking, which is quite nice. So it is very convenient. No pocket clip, however, so that's slightly less convenient. But it is of a size, it might fit in the watch pocket in a pair of blue jeans. So maybe it is convenient. I don't know. Not convenient if you don't have pockets, of course. Sorry, ladies. Next up, keep the blue theme going for a minute. We got a bunch of new ANV or Acta non-Verba knives in stock. This is the one that stood out the most. A lot of the others are kind of similar variations to things we've seen in the past. Some new steels on some knives. 14C28N actually, which undercuts the higher priced models on some of them. So might want to check them out. This one right here, however, has Sleipner steel, 3.5 inches of it, and the price is $169. And the handles are Blue Velvet G10. It's G10. This same one is also available with a satin blade, in addition to the black blade here. That one's about $153, so pretty decent delta between the two. The coating is DLC, if you're wondering. Great all-around useful shape. You've got a swedge full length along that, giving you increased efficiency at the spine throughout the whole length of the blade, no matter where you're cutting. That can remove drag as you're going through curved cuts, especially thanks to that, we'll say hydrodynamic shape in this case. Plenty of handle length there for a full grip, even for large-handed folks, I would say. Wire deep carry pocket clip that's reversible for left or right carry, so it's going to be very tucked in and out of the way, and all you are going to see is that little bit of wire poking out. Inset liner lock, ball bearings. Actually, are those ball bearings? It's got sort of a slower feel than most. Yeah, it is ball bearings. Maybe it needs a little bit of lubrication, but it still flips quite nicely. And the ball or glow-in-the-dark bit in the flipper tab right there. Very, very cool knives. Check out the whole selection at the links below, or those QR codes if you're watching on your TV at home. Or any TV, I guess, anywhere.
Your friend's phone. Have a picture of your phone.
But then the phones are talking to each other, and we don't want that.
Phones are literally supposed to talk to each other.
That's the last thing we want to use our phones for, is actually talking to each other.
Well, I know I don't want to talk to you.
They do sort of treat that as a secondary function nowadays. You don't have to talk to me. You just have to be talked at by me.
But I got to keep you in line.
Excuse me. How about some USA-made fixed blades? I say yes. The first is this, the Axial Alpine Ultralight pocket fixed blade. Yes, it is a pocket fixed blade. So I'm automatically predisposed to like what is going on here. And I do like what is going on here. Price, $225. You got a MagnaCut blade, so it is tough, stainless, and has high edge retention in a way that no other kind of combination, or no other steels kind of manage that same combination. Upcoming Magna Max steel, however, less tough but more edge retention. MagnaCut's great. Denim micarta handles, which is a cool handle material as well. A little bit of color to the attachment hardware, which really leans into that denim look. It's like almost that corroded or patinaed copper, like the snaps on a pair of blue jeans. 3.5 finger grip for my slightly larger than average hands, but I can still choke up a little bit, get a really nice gorilla grip if I need to push hard. Versatile drop point for versatility. And a hollow grind, keeping it pretty thin behind the edge. It's a great useful shape, man. Sheath is over here. It is Kydex. And it's a very versatile, it's designed with versatility in mind. It comes with this style of clip here. I think it's the deep carry or discrete carry concepts clip. I never forget. I always forget what this logo is and what the other company's logo is, and we've got one of those later, but they are very similar. Somebody sort me out in the comments, please. The cool thing about these clips is if your belt is narrow enough, you can use it on the belt. It'll also work great as an in-pocket clip or an inside the waistband clip. If you don't like this attachment, the versatility in mind in the sheath design is going to help you out because you have rivets and slots, which means no matter what the hole spacing of your attachment hardware is, it's probably going to be able to be made to work with this. And if you'd rather carry it as a neck knife, you've got 2 rivets at the top, which is going to keep it from twisting around around on your neck. So it always orients the correct way when you go to draw it. That's a pretty cool knife. Yeah, use it every day, but they call it the Ultralight, Alpine Ultralight, which to me always makes me think of hiking, of course. This would make a great small outdoor fixed blade. If you're hiking and you want to keep things minimal, it could be your primary. It would also be a great complement to a larger knife, either a larger belt knife or a larger chopper if you're headed out into the woods. Next up, we have a new version of the ESEE Sencillo or Sencillo. This one is actually not going to be part of the regular lineup because this is marked as limited to quantity on hand on the website, which means it's a discontinued item essentially. So get them while they are hot. We've got A2 steel, one of the great all-around versatile carbon steels out there with a versatile drop point shape with a full flat grind. Great. And kind of the same rolls as the Axial we just looked at. It's a little bit larger, of course, more hand filling thanks to the swelled handle there, which is maple rich light, which is very cool. Fills the hand. You do not have a guard at the front. The edge comes all the way through, so mind that when you're cutting with it. But a great hunter especially is where the Sencillo really shines. And if you're wondering what the name Sencillo, or it's probably Sencillo with the 2 L's there, it means simple, which is a very simply designed knife because often the simplest things are the best. It's not overcomplicated. It just has everything you need. It does things right. Sheath time. Kydex with a very broad Kydex belt loop right here. It does have a retention hook at the bottom and rivets on the front. No slots, so it might be a little less versatile than some other sheath options, but at least it is well appointed right out of the box. Next, we have a restock of the Unmei from RMJ Tactical. An upswept blade in MagnaCut steel, again right here. Price is $265 for this midnight bronze coated version, which is really cool. Black G10 for the handles, plenty of traction, whether you're using this in a sort of self-defense scenario, or if you like to EDC an upswept blade, you can do a lot worse than this for sure. It is very durable. We've got a very aggressively chamfered spine coming down. There's like more chamfer than not, or more chamfer than flat on the outer dimension, as you can see right there. In hand, yeah, you feel it a little bit, but this is not the type of thing you're probably using for hours anyway. This is designed to be, used on a few quick cuts here and there and get back to the rest of your business. Plenty of clearance for your knuckles because of that upswept blade. If you wanted to use this for food prep, plenty of room to work on a cutting board for sure. Sheath is Kydex. That is the story today. Comes with a backer plate and that other company's clip, whether it's Discrete Carry Concepts or the other one. I apologize to both of you companies out there. Comes with a little bit of the retention hook there at the bottom as well. Again, you can use it on your belt. You could use it inside the waistband. This is a little large perhaps and a lot sticking out for pocket carry, but if you wanted to, you could do it in a pinch. And you could neck carry it as well. You still got the 2 rivets at the top. I probably wouldn't neck carry this. It's a little much personally, but I'm not the only guy out there. You do you, people. Next up, another limited edition knife. This is limited edition of the station knife from Benchmade, clearly aimed at the outdoor crowd because of the camouflage right there. What's that you say? You didn't see the handle? It's there. It's camouflaged. Aluminum with a Cerakote finish for the camo pattern there. And I believe it is PVD. Yes, it's PVD coating on the blade, CPM 154, which is not the same as 154 CM. Before there's going to be someone already who's going to be rushing to the comment section. It's a powder metal version of 154 CM, which increases the toughness of the steel significantly over the standard or conventionally made version of the steel. And toughness is good when you're dealing with a very, very thin blade like this. I made fun of like the camouflage not being seen here, but if I hold this up, it might kind of blend into the background a little bit.
No, it's perfectly visible in front of the YouTube flag.
How about now?
Stop trying.
Balance. It is a chef style knife after all. It is slightly handle heavy, as you can see right there. Let me find it. Right there, ever so slightly handle heavy, which means if you're doing a pinch grip like this, you are going to feel that tipping backwards. But it does have a good geometry for doing rock chops on a cutting board. Very good and slicey for all your other types of cuts as well. Push cuts are going to work nicely. Lots of capability with the detail-oriented tip right there as well. Blade length is just under 6 inches. Super controllable, super manageable. Still super capable, especially in a kind of camp cooking scenario, which being camo, it's probably going to be used there more than in your home kitchen, but home kitchen styled versions of this are also available. And you do have a friction fit Kydex sheath with a retention strap. Are you going to belt carry this? I mean, you could. Maybe if I put the strap on the correct way. Goes around the finger guard. There we go. I don't know, could you throw a tech lock on there? Let's see. This is a Civivi T-clip, which has the same hole patterns, and yes, you could put a tech lock on there if you wished. And actually, it's an ambidextrous sheath as well. Apologies to the commenter who said, doesn't that mean it has 2 arms or 2 right hands? I don't know. You can unsnap from either side of the sheath, so not that you're wearing it on a belt, probably. Anyway, doesn't matter. Check it out. Next up, some crossbar locking knives. We have got the UCO Hannegan folder. Coming in at about $75. We've got a sub 3-inch blade in Nitro V on this with a gray coating, a few different colors on the handle, which is made of G10. A very comfy, accommodating handle too. It's, there's no kind of sharp, pokey angles going on. It's all rounded, all perfectly shaped to just meld with your hand when you go to use it. That's going to make it comfortable, or more comfortable than most folders, if you're doing a lot of wood carving, bushcrafty type of tasks with it. Of course, a good fixed blade with a well-finished handle is always going to be even more comfortable for that sort of thing, because you're never going to get rid of the gap between the sides when you're dealing with a folder. But as far as folders go, this is really nice in the comfort department. Deep carry pocket clip. It is reversible, so you can carry it either side, which lets you take advantage of the ability of the crossbar lock to work in either side, lefty or righty. And you've got that finger safe closing action as well, so your fingers never cross the path of the blade. Feels good. I keep wanting to push this because it looks almost like one of those pivot-based button lock systems, but it's not. So don't do that. You've also got an ambidextrous thumb plate mounted to the spine of the blade if you'd rather open it more deliberately with your thumb. Pretty cool, and definitely has a different style than most of the typical folders we see nowadays. I think this would fit in really well with the camping and hike, more the mainstream hiking and camping crowd, as opposed to the knife nuts that go camping and hiking, me and some of you probably as well. Cool little knife. Next up, we have a Schrade, an Uncle Henry, which is, to me, that name always goes hand in hand with Old Timer, because that's another one of Schrade's brands. It's a classic brand. And they've got classic styling, but a very modern lock here with that crossbar lock here. This is the Smokey. Comes with a sub 3-inch blade, 2.94, and it's $28 as well. What is the steel in this case? So it's nothing to write home about. It's 7CR at that price point, and with this level of kind of furniture going on, that's not wholly unexpected. Just get used to the fact you might have to sharpen it a little more often than some other things out there. Black laminate wood handles, stainless steel bolsters, very classy look, and it comes with a deep carry pocket clip. So it's got the modern amenities and an ambidextrous, well-used, well-functioning lock. It does, however, not have a reversible clip, so sorry, lefties in this case. In fact, that's getting a little slippery for me because I'm not a left-hander and I'm a little clumsier. In the right hand, it feels fine, though. Yeah, it feels nice. You do have the nail nick as well. You can always open it that way, but why would you when you can just do that, right? I mean, I wouldn't. I would just do that all the time. Feels pretty good. A little bit of weight to it, if that's your thing. Speaking of which, this next knife has a little bit more weight to it than the older versions of it. This is the original Lander from Knafs, now with stainless steel handles. Gives it that feeling of weight, that feeling of extra rigidity. Some people really enjoy that because it does impart a feeling that it feels more solid than a plastic handled or even a G10 handled knife. Now you can get it. $50. The steel is D2, 2 3/4-inch blade with a very versatile, very polite looking drop point that can do just about anything. And despite its small size, a very accommodating handle shape that works even for the larger mitted people like myself, or even larger, I would say. I've said this to Ben Peterson, the designer of this knife, before. He does a great job at just designing regular knives for regular people. This does that really well without skimping on the things that make modern knife enthusiasts like the things we look for in a modern knife. You've got a liner lock and ball bearings in the pivot, so the action is nice and crisp. You've got a deep carry pocket clip, so you can keep it nice and tucked away, and it's reversible too, with a blockout plate on the front to keep it from looking like there's a hole on the front side of the blade. Just a lot to recommend. Stonewashed finish in black stonewashed finish on the blade as well. Rough and tumble, ready to work, and the stainless steel really complements that kind of, attitude and feeling. Next up, not a regular knife for regular old people. This is definitely an enthusiast grade item right here. It is a Reate knife in collaboration with Vulpex Knives. This is the VK-CLU, a liner locking, LMAX bladed, DLC coated front flipper. Darn.
Got him.
With titanium handles and polished zirconium accents. This is another one with the way the pivot looks. I keep wanting to push the pivot as though it were a button, especially because you don't see any like screw hardware or screw head fitting on the front there. It is adjustable with Torx on the back, but on the front, it's like, come on, let me do that thing. But I'm a dumb enthusiast, and I look for dumb enthusiast things. What can I say? You have an inset liner lock to keep things secure, and the front flipper, as mentioned. I almost hate to do it. Ooh. Works pretty good. I just went to push the button again that's not there, the non-existent button. You can also use the fuller if you want to do that reverse flick, get in here right towards the end, and there's plenty of leverage to do that. Copper style accents or copper colored accents. I don't think it's actual copper, and inlay or a plug in the blade in that same color, which is of course that signature element from Vulpex as well. LMAX steel, it's good stuff. It's going to hold an edge quite well, and you've got a very kind of tough looking blade. It's definitely modified sheepswood. It's got plenty of belly. The tip is a little more stylized. I dig that. You've got a single screw on the back or on the front side that is visible. Technically this is a screw, but there's no screw head, so it doesn't look like a screw. You've just got this one piece right here that runs through the handle and secures the pocket clip from the other side. So the way it all looks is very, very clean. It's just the decorative elements that you see as opposed to any actual kind of construction hardware, which is quite nice. Did I say the price on this yet? $327 for that knife. If you want to save some money, how about a knife for $265? This is the Dirty Bird from Ketuo. And it is like simple but ornate at the same time. The handle itself is blue titanium with a really high polished finish. This is going to be a bear for Thomas to film without getting too many fingerprints visible.
I'm going to need all the microfiber.
Yeah, basically, I think so. Mokutai inlays around the pivot and the button. And that button is actuating what looks like, one of those top liner style things. Almost a compression lock. I don't know if it's fully that or not. It's kind of looping up over the top here, but I don't see, I would expect there to be an extra stop pin if it was true like compression style a la Spyderco, but in any case, it is button actuated, however you want to think about that. But I was talking about the aesthetics first. Let me finish that. Titanium pocket clip with some, we'll call it file work for lack of a better word here. Backspacer stuff going on as well. Also with that file work style thing. Two separate pieces, in fact. And then some sculpting on the sides of the blade as well. And an inlay in the blade as well. Let's see if we can use that to open the knife. I don't see why you couldn't. Yes, you certainly can. So you've basically got thumb studs and a thumb hole in the blade with which to actuate it. Or you can just push that button, flick it open and closed as well. That gives you that finger safe closing action too. Now, if you're worried about using the knife and accidentally disengaging the lock, worry no more. You got a secondary safety there, which blocks the button from being pressed down and disengaging the lock. Does it work in the closed position? I doubt it. It does not work in the closed position, as expected. But you've got 3 3/4 inches of blade. What did we call it on the website? Yeah, Wharncliffe. I'll accept Wharncliffe in this case, for sure. It's definitely pokey enough for that. Lots of edge, powerful shape, and M390 to hold an edge quite nicely. There is another, 2 more other colors of this as well. You can get it in a more muted gray or a less muted gold, if that is your style. And price on all of those is the same, about $265. All right, it's my show, and I say we need more fixed blades on it. This is the Boker Fafo. If you know what that means, You know what that means.
Find out.
You'll find out. This is, not really, I mean, it's designed to carry every day for sure, but it's not really a knife that I would enjoy doing my, mundane cutting tasks with. This is like purpose built for self-defense. It's attainable too. Price is about $76 and some change. You've got 440C steel. The reason I say I wouldn't, enjoy cutting with it too often is because it is very thick and not even full flat ground for this size of a knife. It's not going to be an efficient cutter. You're going to have to muscle through some things if you're, needing to do longer slicing cuts. Tip work, you might not ever notice it. It's certainly going to open, packaging on tape on shipping boxes or other things like that. No big deal. But as soon as you try to do anything that requires a little more effort, you're going to have even more effort behind your cuts because of the geometry. But it's not designed for that. It's designed to be quick and balanced and on hand when someone is needing to find out that you're not to be messed with. You've got G10 here on the back, acting as sort of a counterweight, and the balance as a result, I'll show this right here, is so perfectly neutral that when you grip the knife, and for me, I would tend to want to pinch it right here and anchor the back right here, so I'm not going to slip forward. Although I'm not a knife defense expert by a long shot, so take this with a grain of salt for sure. But when I hold it like that, it's ready to move. It's nimble. It's not fighting against the motions of my arms. That's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, pretty cool indeed. The sheath is Kydex. Like so many sheaths that we've shown today, it slides in quite nicely. It's taco style, so it's narrower in the pocket, and you could carry it with Boker's, essentially take on the discreet carry or whatever company's clip out there. If your belt is small enough, although that's going to be a pretty small belt, you could belt carry it, but pocket or inside the waistband carry for this is going to be, the name of the game. Let's just try a tech lock real quick, or the tech lock hole spacing on the Civivi T-clip here. Yes, these two holes right here will work perfectly well, play perfectly nicely with a tech lock. How about an everyday carry fixed blade that is designed for more general purpose use, but doesn't give up on the style at the same time? This is the Thomas Krug Kissaki design from Boker Plus. 2.44 inches of 440C on the blade and $63 and change. And definitely very, Eastern inspired. You've got the wrapped handle, which is quite nice, and the fully upswept blade. Good for daily utility stuff. You may know I am kind of a drop point fan, so you don't get the same kind of benefits of the drop point. But again, different strokes for different strokes, folks. Different strokes for different folks.
Did you just have a stroke?
Get back to me. There's no sort of finger guard or anything to protect your digits per se, but the aggressiveness of the wrap here gives you a ton of texture, and you really are super locked in on that handle when you're going around doing your everyday cutting sorts of things. Pretty cool design. I may, at one of these points, commit to carrying something like this daily, because I've used knives like this, but I've never relied on it as my primary daily cutting tool. Maybe I should. Just kind of stretch myself a little bit. That's always a good thing, right? You ever see a lion limber up before a kill?
It's a good rule.
It's a good rule. Minimal Kydex sheath right here. It comes with the same belt attachment we just talked about, so pocket or inside the waistband carry primarily. You certainly could pocket carry it, but you are going to have to be dealing with just that single point of your lanyard to go through, so it might twist around a bit.
Carry.
Thank you. That's what I meant. So it may twist around a little bit as you neck carry it. Just keep that in mind. I dig that. It's not my style at all, but I'm feeling oddly drawn to it. Take that for what it's worth. One more pocket fixed blade, and then we'll get into some decidedly non-pocket fixed blades. The Kobold. Great knife. We love it from Heretic Knives. Now available in the cell shade finish with MagnaCut steel for about $315. It is US made. Are these serialized? Yes, this one is 129. So one of you out there may watch this video one day and see that you've got this knife. It's very possible. It's a cool little knife. It comes with a pocket leather sheath designed by my good friend, or made by my good friend, Sven Stelzer over there at JRE Industries. And it comes with an ulti clip for pocket carry specifically. Very, very cool little sheath. Very easy to access the blade. and a cool little daily clip point shape, straight clip point in this case. Just enough grip there for a 3.5 finger grip for me, and thin on the G10, keeping it nice and compact in the pocket. And you got a little bit of extra retention thanks to that fob and the bead out there at the back. Holes in the blade make it go faster. Also gives a good spot for a pinch grip, a little more traction as a result of that. It's pretty cool. All right, if you got pockets that this knife will fit in, I would be very scared of you, and I don't want to, get on your bad side, for sure. This is the Mad Dog Bowie from Work Tough Gear. And when I say it's a monster, longtime viewers know I have what I describe as slightly larger than average hands. Depending on the company, I wear either a large or an extra large glove. I've got about, I can do it, 2 extra fingers of length on that handle when I'm not wearing gloves. So I know a finger's width is not a universal unit of measure, but it's just cracking me up. What that will do for you is you've got 2 positions to hold this monstrous 12.6 inch blade, K329 steel in this case, which is very, very tough stuff. You can hold it up here to balance it a little bit better. You're not going to be reaching for this first to do smaller tasks, but if you had to, definitely you're going to be holding it up here to try and balance that out a bit. Let's find that balance point. We're somewhere around right there. So if you're cutting stuff right where my thumb is, don't cut my thumb, but it's like if you're cutting a stick or something, you could choke up a little bit and you're kind of balanced. What you're cutting is kind of a fulcrum in that case. And that it's not as, free feeling or as effortless as a more finely balanced knife, but that can help a little bit when you're cutting that sort of thing. Or if you need more power, simply choke back and get more power out of this big recurve style blade here. I think it's going to hit hard, man. Lots of cool stuff. I mean, we're about 1/4 inch thick, it looks like here on the tang, but as 2.216. Thought it was a little thick. Anyway, but check out the distal taper out there towards the spine. That is really cool. Or is that a distal taper, or is that just kind of the swedge fooling my eye? It might be a little bit of the swedge going on. It's going to hit hard, man. I don't know what else you want to know. It's a Work Tough. They're built really great. I love how well refined their convex edges are. They're not too thin. They're kept a little bit thick, so you can really wail on these things, but the level of refinement is great, and it's convex, which I didn't mention that already. That's very cool, too. Sheath is Kydex. Sorry about that. And it comes, Thomas, that you were in the box there. It comes with like all kinds of attachment hardware and other goodies. And
many gubbins.
Lots of case candy comes with a knife like this. Work Tough always takes care of you. And you can get them right now at the Knife Center. We may or may not have some V44Xs still available as well. Might not, I'm not sure. But you can check out our selection at the website, of course. Price on that, I should have mentioned that, about $289. And last but not least, each priced at about $68. It is a continuation of kind of my go-to machete recommendation these days, that being the Terra machete. We now have the Terra Bowie and the Terra Camp from Condor. Very reasonably priced for these 14 and change long inch blades, 1075 carbon steel for plenty of toughness. Take your pick. The Bowie has a bit of a flat grind and a convex secondary edge and a unsharpened swedge here, so a false edge in this case. A little bit faster, a little bit slicier than the Terra Camp right there, but it could kind of do all the same kind of stuff. And if you wanted to sharpen this back edge, you would have to grind it down a little bit further, but you certainly could. There's certainly applications for cutting on the back swing of a stroke, depending on what you're doing, of course. The Terra Camp does not have the flat grind, it just has a convex grind morphing into a more cutty geometry on the convex at the edge. So it's continuous, but there's some variation in the actual radius as you get down. Both of these have a little bit of, for lack of a better term, we'll call this a finger choil here. It is guarded, so you're not going to slip forward onto the edge so easily, but you could balance out this bigger knife for those smaller things like I was talking about earlier. Let's find the balance point. Doing a lot of balancing on this episode. That's kind of way out there. So it'd be better to be back here, honestly. You'd still have more control if you're doing the fine work back here. Swings really nicely though. The reason I like these, especially as a kind of general purpose recommendation, these or the Terra Schrade, the handle is very nicely designed. It's a Joe Flowers design. You've got the standard position for finer work. In this, you've even got the choke up point, and you've got space to choke back for a bigger hit. Full tang protruding at the back, as you can see. And it's not super crisp, but you could crisp that up really nicely if you wanted to use that as a scraper. The handle's really nicely designed. The size of what you're getting for the price is good. And the other versions do come with, I think, a slightly nicer sheath, but this one does come with a perfectly nice sheath. It is nylon with a retention strap, belt loop at the back, and even molly capability with this loop and snap, or strap and snap on the back.
Snap out.
Stat. But take your pick, honestly. Any knife in this Terra series of machetes, whether it's these two blade shapes or the other blade shapes, there's a kukri as well. It's hard not to recommend them if you're shopping on a budget and you can afford more than just a real entry-level tool. It's a good step up for any folks. Anyway, that's all we got for today, folks. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. And if you want to get your hands on any of these for yourself, check out the links in the description or those QR codes throughout to take you to KnifeCenter.com. While you're there, don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program or our Sezzle payment options at checkout if you want to break things into more payments. That's all for now. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera. We're signing out. See you next time.